It's 4 o'clock in the morning right now. There are about 68.3 million people in Britain, but less than 5% of them are actually awake right now. We know this because the Office for National Statistics publishes a time use survey where they ask a representative sample of the population how they spend their time throughout a given day. About 20% of the population are children, and they're not included in the survey. But for the adult population, the survey gives us a look at how Britain actually spends its time on an average weekday. For about 4 million people, the day has just begun. It's just gone 6 o'clock, and that means that 4 million alarms just went off across the country. And in half an hour, another 4 million will go off. And then at 7 o'clock, 8 million alarms will go off. And by 7:30, a majority of the country will be awake. At 8 a.m., almost a quarter of Britain's population is getting ready for the day. So if you brush your teeth around this time, there's going to be thousands of people brushing their teeth at the exact same time as you. But some people have already left home by this point. In fact, around 10% of the country is traveling right now. This is the height of the morning rush hour. But this also varies throughout the week, because a lot of people have hybrid working arrangements, so they might work from home on certain days, or every day. By 10 a.m., 40% of the country is working. Not everyone's in an office, of course. But what's everyone else doing? About 20% of the country is doing housework, things like cleaning, DIY, and laundry. And a lucky 10% or so are engaged in entertainment and leisure. Between 12 and 2, the great lunch break happens. So if you have lunch at about 1 p.m, there's about 10 million people having lunch with you. But by 2 p.m, 40% are working again. This number slowly declines throughout the afternoon. At 5 p.m, 10% of the country is traveling again, but in the opposite direction. And by 6 p.m, less than 10% of the country is working. About 20% of the country is having dinner. Lots of people are also taking care of children at this time, although I think the data might be a bit muddled, because people might be taking care of children while having dinner, for example. As we get to 8 and 9 p.m, the majority of the country is engaged in entertainment and leisure. The single most popular evening activity is watching TV, although I'm not sure what actually counts as TV. You might be watching this video on a TV, for example. The number of people who are awake starts to drop at this time. By 10 o'clock, a quarter of the country is asleep. By 11, it's more than half. And by midnight, it's over 90%. We don't have enough data to say what the people who are awake at this time are doing. Some of them are working, and the rest of them are doing all sorts of different things. Some of them are out recording YouTube videos. But it'll be a mixture of people who are up late, people who are up really early, and some people who aren't sleeping that night. I'm filming this in the height of summer, so it gets bright really early, but most people are still asleep right now. In fact, almost everyone is. If you ever wondered what the UK would look like if it only had less than 10% of its actual population, I guess this is it. It's kind of weird. I should say, by the way, that with these figures, just because only 20% of people are having dinner at a particular time, it doesn't mean that the other 80% never have dinner. It just means that they had dinner maybe 10 minutes earlier or 10 minutes later. But I guess that doesn't really matter when more than 90% of people are asleep at this time. And the reason they are is that it's 4 o'clock in the morning right now. There are about 68.3 million people in Britain, but less than 5% of them are actually awake right now. We know this because the Office